I'm from South Carolina. I moved out here, and they had me thinking Orange County was just the Holy Grail. Oh, you go to Orange County, they got that money in Orange County.
I'm from L.A.
So, bro, I'm going to have to take a detour real quick, put me on game about the ride, and then we'll get back on track. Don't lose your train of thought.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to the L.A. Rams, but...
Why not? Whoa. Let's talk about this. Hold on. Sometimes you just got to go with how you feel.
I am old enough to remember a time where it was weird to be on the internet.
My name is Trey Hatton.
This is Rob Palacio. This is going to be a beautiful thing for sure.
As crazy as it sounds, like I feel like I don't have enough conversations with people outside of my household. Like I know I work at, the bar, but I'm saying like just like my homies. Like I don't talk to the homies. I just got the phone before I even came in here with you.
Okay.
I talked to one of my closest childhood friends, my best friend, and my brother on a three-way call for 40 minutes all the way down the road.
Nice.
And all we did was talk about a show called One Piece that we all watched together.
Okay.
We talked about it the whole time. And that was like the longest I've talked to them at the same time in like 2 weeks. If we're not playing the game.
Okay.
And so it was like, this morning has been very refreshing. Okay. You know what I mean? Like just having a good conversation, bro. I think I said it the other night at work, but man, I think I took for granted, and I think a lot of young men and women take for granted those moments when you are with your friends and you're just having fun and you hanging out, and it feels like it could never end. And then one day you become an adult. And you just, and one day, and one day, I'm just saying, one day, you become an adult, but in that process, there's a process because you have to process the fact that you got to start handling business on a different level. And so you're not thinking that you're talking to your friends. You just start saying, oh, I'll talk to them next week.
Right.
I'll talk to them next week. But then you don't end up talking to them for a while. And then you go, let me check on them. But then you do that in a cycle and you just almost start to feel distant from that person.
Yeah. You know what's funny is in my time living that life as a parent, right? Early on, I felt validated about that. Like it didn't bother me. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'm being a parent. I'm spending that time with my family. I'm being a husband, whatever. If I don't really have time for my friends, they're going to have to understand I'm a family man. That's how I took it. Now I wish I could have did that a little differently.
How so?
Because you know what? Everyone needs connection, right? You need someone outside of your family. We talked about this, what was it, last show, right? You got to be 110% for, your family as a husband, as a father, but then you also need, even at work, but you also need to be able to be available for yourself. And the life you had before you were a dad, the life you had. Now that changes. You're going to change a little bit. You might not live exactly the same life you did before you were a father or a husband, but there's a version of Trevay or a Ra, or whoever you are, that is separate from your wife or your children. And if you don't have time for that, then I think over time you become a shell of yourself. Very few people find full 100% fulfillment in just being a parent or a spouse. Some do. There are some people out there that do. Most of us, we need a little something. And I think it's important to have that time where you go, you know what? This is me hour. Even if it's just an hour. Even if that's just a walk. Even if that's to go play basketball. Even if that's to hop on the Xbox. Even if that's just a phone call with a friend. But I now look back now and I'm trying to be better about it, man. I think if for any of my friends that are listening to this podcast, like, I'm sorry I wasn't a better friend. I feel like I kind of failed a little bit. I could have been better. Let me put it like that. Maybe I didn't fail. Maybe that's a little harsh, but I feel like I could have been a better friend. I didn't know how because I was busy doing what I thought was important because of how I was raised, which I'm giving credit to my parents for always being around, but also the environment I was raised in that showed what happens if you're not a good parent or not a good spouse, right? And I'm now a man that has been divorced, so I know what it's like to have a failing marriage. So I've tried hard to be available and be the best man I could be as a father, as a husband that I could be. But I realized the thing about me, if you know Raw, sometimes like I overcook, right? When I was in the studio, I wouldn't leave. Everybody would leave. I'm still there working on the project. With this podcast,
Oh, I know.
how many times did we talk? It's 12 o'clock at night. I'm still working on the podcast.
Still getting it in.
Right? Like I cook, you know what I mean? And I think, so when I do something, I just kind of do it. And I knew that was the one area, me as a family man, me as a husband, I could not fail because I didn't spend the time. I couldn't do that. I would feel less of a man. And I took my divorce very personally. You know what I mean? Like when people ask me, what is your greatest failure? I always say, I didn't make the nuclear family that I built for my children work. I couldn't make that work.
Ooh. I ain't gonna lie, I think this is the first, I've never asked you that, but
yeah,
I think it's the first time I heard you say that.
Yeah. That is my deepest, darkest failure in my life.
But also, it helped you create the new you. Not the new you.
Yeah. No,
but
I have no regrets on where I am now.
Yes,
I'm happy with who I'm married with. That's separate. I mean, before that person existed, before my current wife existed.
I know exactly.
If I could have never had that situation fail my children by not making that work, I would have done everything in my power to fix that.
Yeah, but what is a failure, though? You know what I mean? It's a lesson.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean?
Overall, it is. And failure is good. Failure is good because you learn from it if you want. But, but if you want to call it a spade of like how I felt about that scenario, I would have, if I could have picked one, I would have picked to save that situation. Right? So I didn't want to redo that. So I had to learn because there's nothing, you can't change everything. You got to have serenity. But going back to what we were talking about, even that failure, that taught me that, like, even with that level of control, you still didn't save that situation, right? I still lost my marriage, and I still wasn't as available for myself or to my friends as I should have been. Every now and then I should have been like, I'm going to take that time and I'm going to go hang out or, for an hour and come home responsibly at a responsible hour. Or I'm going to, just like you did today, place that phone call. And I feel like I didn't do that as much. And I regret it now because now time has gone by and, 16 years down the road as a parent.
Everybody's different.
Right? Yeah. And thank God I still have a lot of those relationships. I still do. And I try to be better about it now. I still think I suck at it. I feel like I don't reach out enough to other people. You and I talk a lot because we have business together.
Yeah.
That's just fact.
And we said that. We said this friendship, this relationship was going to be cultivated.
Right.
Through the pod.
Right.
And I love that.
Right. And then we have this, which is kind of, I feel like that's a touch too. You know what I mean? Because this is very personal for us. But, if we didn't have the podcast,
we'd still be cool.
We'd be cool. But you'd probably hear from me like, well, you know how frequent you heard from me before.
Yeah.
So it'd have been like that. You know what I mean? Like, that's just kind of how it is. That's just not my first thought. And like, as I get a little older, I'm like, maybe it should have been. Not my first thought, but like my second or third.
But when you go back and you look at everything that you had going on, and you look at what you were trying to do, and you look at your mindset once again, when we talk about the friend aspect, right? Being with your homies, finding that time, and you just RTB, we jumped out hot today.
Yeah,
we jumped out hot. We usually ease you in, but we jumped out hot. But what you're saying is. And man, I'm not gonna lie, you caught me off guard now. I ain't gonna lie. Cause that's big. That says a lot about you. At what point do you feel like you could have done more without trying to max your time to be the best father and the best husband you could be? at that time.
Yeah, and
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I and you know what? Like I go back and forth on that because there is no best version, right? Like it's always life is ebb and flows. Life is you're always trying to do your best, but you're never your best. You always try to do your best, but you're never your best. You know what I mean? Like there's always tomorrow. So like
on a shirt,
probably, but like I think at the end of the day, and I just said this to my daughter, because somebody in her family died, and I said, you know, whenever someone dies, regardless of how I feel about them, I always look and I go, what legacy did they leave, and how do people feel about you when you go? And I know, like, if you live life right, you got a few people that probably hate you, but you know, at the end of the day, when I go, whatever that time is, are people going to celebrate me? Are they going to love me? Are they going to say, you know what, that dude was dope. He was cool. You know, and that's important to me. And I hope, you know, and I'm not casting any aspersions on anything. Don't take that information the wrong way. I'm just saying anytime anyone dies that I know about, I always go, man, I wonder how many people love that person and appreciate this person now that they're gone.
It's always a good question to be asked, right? Yeah. How did that person, and I think even the better question is, how did that person impact the earth? How did that person impact the world?
Right.
What did they leave?
Right.
When they were on this earth.
Right.
You know, and
and that impact could be as small as your family.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Not all of us are meant to affect the whole world.
Yep.
Sometimes your effect on the world is the fact that you inspired one person.
And that person can go change the world.
And that person goes change the world, right? So, and that could be your child. It could be your niece or nephew. It could be whoever, right? So,
what if that person pissed off everybody else they met? I got it.
Yeah, I know. But that's why, like I damn near started crying when Kevin at my wedding came up to talk.
Oh,
because like
that was your old boss, right?
No, Kevin is like I consider him like my little brother.
Okay,
you know what I mean? So I know him way back when.
Yeah,
and like. For him to stand up there and kind of give a speech of how much I meant to him, he had never told me that before. You know, he had never spoke those words before, and he had walked up to me right before the wedding, and he shows me the watch. He was like, "You remember this watch?" And I was like, "Oh, what are you telling me about it?" And he's like, "This is the watch you gave me," and then it clicked. Like I bought him a watch, you know. I gave him a watch. Sometime before he left to leave for California to go to where he lives now in Colorado. And I totally forgot I gave him a watch because, you know, like I just kind of wanted him to feel like, you know, he had somebody that cared about him and that, you know, he was growing up to be, you know, a young man and that I got his back, you know. And I would check in with him, whatever, but sometimes when you do things, you're not doing it for a reward, right? And for him to come back to show up in my moment, you know, and I just wanted him to be there to participate, you know, and just be a part of that. I didn't expect any of that. And for him to give me that kind of love, that was the one time, and this happens from time to time in my life, where like it came back. I wasn't even expecting that. And that was a very emotional time for me. I just was like, oh, wow. Like, I can't believe, like, my brother Gordon he called me after that. He goes, "Hey, I didn't know about that kid. I didn't know you did that." I was like, I didn't think of it that way.
Nah, you just being you.
Yeah.
It's a natural, you just being who you're doing what you would want someone else to do for you.
Right. But it feels good. Like, I feel like I did something positive for somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You did.
That's what I cared about.
That man probably looked at that watch a few times during that move, and I don't know what happened when he left for Colorado, but I'm sure he had some really tough times.
Yeah.
Right. And there was an instant, even if it was for 1, 2, 3 seconds, that he probably wore that watch. And he go, I got to keep going because I know Rod would too. Or something along those lines.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you really think about, and we do the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think about the things your parents did for you to get you where you are. And you go, I can't stop now. There's no way I can throw in the towel. Right? I'm not even trying to make this no Hallmark special. I'm just saying, no, I'm not. But I'm just saying, because we getting there. We jumping out the gun hot. I'm saying there's things in life, there's what's the word I'm looking for? Checkpoints. There's checkpoints throughout life, whether it be a song, a watch, right? A picture, right? And I love that my wife scrapbooks, but things that you can look back on and people impact you, or you can see you impacted someone, that reassures the person that you are. If you're ever struggling with any identity, right, or any self-esteem or confidence, I'm telling you, like, that watch you gave him, back to what you were saying, it probably literally helped them keep going. It's stuff like that.
Yeah.
You gave him that watch over a decade ago, bro.
Yeah.
Over a decade ago.
Yeah.
And he's still working.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was probably
it's kind of crazy because
that's what I'm saying.
When he told I was so you got to imagine when he dropped that nugget on me, and I hope I didn't come off like weird about it, but like
on your wedding day.
On my wedding day, moments before the wedding started, like I'm already like in an emotional state because not just him, but other people were showing up that I hadn't seen in years that decided to come to my wedding. Right. So I'm like, oh my God. And I see him, and he's a grown man, and he's got his beautiful woman with him and all that. I'm glad to see he's doing well and all that. And I'm trying to, you know how it is. You're trying to catch up with people real quick and all that. And he drops it on me, and I go, what? And I'm trying to absorb it, and I can't. And then we kind of got cut off because somebody else showed up. And I'm like, it's rolling through my brain, but then also like,
there's 20 other things in there too.
The wedding about to start. And so I'm going through the wedding, and I'm like, what the hell? And it's kind of in the back of my head. And then that moment happens, and I'm like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean?
There's days like that, and that's why I told you, and Chef told you.
Yeah.
Take a breath.
Yeah. That was some good-ass advice. You said it a little different, and it meant something. It's kind of funny because it was the same thing, but I got two different messages out of them, and I needed that, and they both helped. Chef Dylan told me to take a moment every hour. However, I got to make that happen. And you have said something similar, and I used both very differently, and it kept me calm.
Bro, on your wedding day, number one. First, hold on. Let's close out this last conversation about the watch.
Yeah.
Let's go back. When you're going through all that and you're understanding that you impacted people, because that's what we was talking about previously before I get ahead of myself, because I'm ready to jump to the whole wedding day thing. It does something for you. And taking it all the way back to where we first started, you weren't a bad friend. You said that like, oh, I wish I would have been a better friend, but that's just the way this thing works. And you have to hope that your friends, if they care about you and they understand.
Oh, I know they do. Though.
And they gotta, of course you wish you could be there for everything, right? But
you know what? It feels like I'm always the guy that can't show up. I can't make the event. I'm not on the group call. I'm not... You know what I mean? Like,
I think I feel.
It's rare. It's rare when Ross shows up, and it's a big deal when Ross shows up because Ross never shows up.
I deal with the same thing, bro. I feel you. All my boys in South Carolina, I'm in California.
Right.
They like, you flying out here this year? I'm like, we'll see what Uncle Sam got to say about that.
Maybe.
Yeah. And
I want to.
Yeah. And so it's like, no, like, but I still love y'all.
Yeah.
I'm still here for y'all, and I think I did have to, fight my own demons with that.
Yeah.
But I had to know I'm doing it for something bigger. Everything you're doing is for something bigger.
Right.
There's always a little bit of sacrifice. You told me that.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of sacrifice in everything that goes on. So, just to bring it back full circle, you right where you need to be.
Oh yeah.
And that's where we always end up at RTB. But man, you hit me with that when you said you wish you'd done it differently. Like I felt that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just that part, like not with regret per se.
No, exactly.
I just know the thing about age. I'm talking like I'm old. I'm not old, but like the thing about age is you.
All right,
I'm gonna let that slide. But the thing about age is you can always look backwards in retrospect and go, "Fuck, I had more time than that." And I thought I didn't. That's why I made the decision I made.
Yeah.
And when you get older, you kind of get into this, you slow down a little bit and you go, fuck that. Like, I'm going to just do it the way I want to do it. And that's the reason why really they tell you, like, you don't really hit your stride as an adult until you're about your mid-30s to your entering your 40s. Because 20, you can just write your 20s off. That's just your freedom, like, decade, right? You got to pray and hope the wheels don't fall off and you don't do nothing too stupid.
Yep.
And then you get a little serious as you get towards the back end of your 20s. You go, oh, life is getting real. If you haven't chosen a career, if you hadn't started your career, you're like panicking probably. And you're like, it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you don't have a family, you're thinking about starting a family. Then you're figuring out proof of concept from late 20s to mid 30s. Right when you hit your mid 30s, you're like, I'm an adult and I've made choices. Like, that's just kind of how it works.
Whether they're good or bad.
Whether good or bad. You might be reinventing at that point, and then you hit 40 and you're like, I now understand the process of being an adult and how things work. And this is how I'm going to do things, whether good or bad.
Yep. And hats off to people, and there's not a lot of them, but there's a few rare children. I mean, people who have been able to catch on to that at a super young age.
Yeah.
Just jump out there and get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but then I find that I've met a few of those people who feel like, oh man, but I wish I would have done this in that 20 decade that you speak of.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have had fun and done all that.
There's always going to be that.
You know what I mean? Like, it's always that question that they have, or that, not that question, but that regret. I ain't gonna say regret, but that want to. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I wish I would have done that. That sounds like great, but is that, so that's a whole nother conversation to be had.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that, and I know we always say it's all about growth. You know, we made 2 podcasts ago when we were talking about Thanksgiving and that whole episode and where this podcast has gone right before we got on the camera. Everything was about growth and how we got to this point. What I'm saying is it just growth? Does your brain really just need time to catch up to who you are and what you want to do, right? Or should more people be forward thinkers? Right? Should more people be challenging their life on a daily basis? Even though, because in your 20s, you can go get tore up and bounce back, be at work, but you feel that you realize that you can't do that forever.
Mm-hmm.
So you think more people should spend more, and I'm not giving nobody an ultimatum, I'm just asking the question. Why don't more people prioritize their future in their youth? You know what I'm saying? That is my question.
And there's no one, I'm gonna take the easy road out. There's no one answer for that. But I think life is about, it's kind of like you have to go through your ebbs and flows, right? Like you have to, I think mistakes are important. And it's a really big, sometimes we look at the wisest person, the person who seems like they have all the answers, who's doing all this and that. And it's not because they made all the right decisions.
You reposted something the other day and you about to say it.
What am I about to say?
I'm not lucky. I just made more mistakes than you.
There it is. You just didn't see all my mistakes. How many times I fell flat on my face, right? How many times I sucked at my relationship? How many times I got bailed out of something? You know, there's a reason why, you know, love him or hate him, this is not a political show. Donald Trump has filed for bankruptcy how many times? Why is he so wealthy? Right? Like, a lot of people don't know that about him. A lot of people don't know a lot of billionaires and millionaires have filed for bankruptcy and had to start over.
And get it built back up.
That's just money.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's just money. But in real life, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's the failed relationships. It's, you know, having real world things happen. And I think that's what kind of is, has given me a lot of pause, because the one thing about me around the time I turned 16, it would come out in spurts. And I don't think everybody knew that about me, but I was a little hot tempered.
Me too.
I was a little hot tempered. And like, I was so I would like, for me, like the way things work is I could let a lot of things kind of wash over me and I don't care. It don't affect me, because when I got mad quick. right? And that was it. And you couldn't, there was no off switch. You would just have to deal with whatever was happening. So I would rarely get mad, and that's how most people know me. What a lot of people didn't know is that when that anger came out, what that was like, right? And so I was one of the last people to know bad information because of that in my family.
So walk me through that. And I know you said when you, because I'm looking at myself, I'm looking inward now.
Right.
When you would get upset like that, right? You were a hot temper guy. We're going to jump right back to what you talked about.
Right.
How did it feel? Did you feel like that's not me? Like I don't like being that angry? Or were you glad you got the anger up off you? Like, were you glad that you were able to distribute it because you've been let
in the moment?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like justice got served every time.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? But that was young me, right? And where I'm going with this is you get into you deal with life in a certain way. And you go, this is how it is, and this is how I am, and this is how this goes. You get a little older and you realize either that could have got me in trouble, or I missed some opportunities, or me behaving that way didn't really get me the result I wanted, regardless if I felt justified or not, right? And I always hid behind the fact that, if you got me that upset, you deserved it, and that's the reason why I don't hold back. That was always my motto. So, and was that probably true? Yeah, probably. But did I miss certain doors that could have opened through certain instances? Yeah, I missed them because I chose to handle it a certain way. That's what the failure gave me. That's what time gave me. That's what age gave me. So now I'm not so quick. I'm not so impulsive as I was back then. So now it takes even more before I get upset. There's probably very few things that will actually upset me at this point.
You gotta be something pertaining to family.
Yeah, my children, something like that. Other than that, I can usually whatever, man. Like, you're there, I'm here. It doesn't matter. So I just think that, depends
on the person.
Right? Yeah, you that's the thing. So I think going back to what you were asking, you don't have to do everything right. You just need to not fall off a cliff either. Right?
That's hard.
But you need that because, let's go dating. Let's go to a dating scenario with this. The person that dates one person, that doesn't work out. That happens for a couple of months. You date the next person and you get married. Let's say you do 10 years with that person. Usually there's from what I know, most people that I know in that scenario, I know quite a few people in that scenario. Usually there's a come to Jesus moment where you're like, maybe the relationship isn't quite as new anymore. Maybe you've had a bad year. Maybe you've had a few bad months. And you're like, there's got to be something else out there. I didn't do enough. Then you start hearing phrases like, I don't know what I'm missing. I didn't date. I didn't go to the club. And it's not that you needed to go to the club. It's not that you needed to go party. It's not that you needed to go hook up with a bunch of people. But you also had zero experiences, so your brain is running wild in imagination and not reality. Those of us that have gone there and dated, a lot of us would probably say, you know what? Save all of that, because what you're going to put yourself through is a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, let's get to the meat and potato.
Before you get to the person you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to skip the line and just go straight to the person you're supposed to be with.
And you still unhappy.
Or we'll say, I'm in the middle. I think you need to kind of understand what the dating pool is like, have enjoyed a little bit of it to some degree, and then been able to say, I'm happy here. Or I have a stable situation here. Find something else to complain about. Because it probably isn't the fact that you didn't date. It's probably that you don't know how to do something. There's probably a different issue in your marriage.
Ooh.
But you got to be old enough to think about that. It's not, trust me, it's not the fact that you didn't date a lot. It's the fact that you're handling something a little interesting.
Roger's not playing with y'all today. He jumping out and he just...
That's how I see it.
And y'all, let me remind y'all, before he started talking, he said, I'm taking the easy way out. That was easy. That was an easy answer. That was the easy answer for y'all.
That was my easy answer.
That was listening up until now. You hear me now? I'm listening. I'm over here. I'm like, this is the easy answer.
Yeah, that was the easy answer.
If you get to a point And social media is already run amok in this world.
Yeah.
So your imagination and reality comparison, that is the epitome of the world right now. Like, that is literally what's going on right now. Like,
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. And like every time I really get worried because I look at where everything is trending with social media and AI, and we're about to be hypocrites because we are on social media and that's how we expect people to find us. But
we're using it for us though.
But like the way that we make things look and how we perceive things in short clips and short recordings, and we make it look like it's all together, and that's not really what it is.
Definitely
and people go build their lives in future and think that's how it really works. And these young people really, that's really the perception that they think that they have. They can't even find happiness anymore.
Yeah, but that just goes back to what you just said, though. You got to stop looking at it through the lens of, oh my God, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that looks so awesome. Oh my God, look at what they got going on. No. What they need to start framing that question as, what did that person go through to get there?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like to get to that point? How does that person feel right now? Like, I know they're showing this clip, and anybody can take a picture of a moment and, make it look some type of way. But what actually was the work? And I think that's the growth, right? I think that is the gray area that everybody in my generation is learning. Like, when they want something, it's more than just a clip. It's more than just a photo.
I mean, here's a quick example. And it was not intended that way. And I'm not really trying to drum up things from the past, right? And
shoot.
I'm going to try to protect the guilty.
Nah, go in.
Jen and I were both, I don't know why I think we were packing up to move or something. And she was like, going through pictures, trying to figure out what she was keeping, what she was getting rid of and whatever. And I think I remember her saying something like, oh, this is such a fun picture, however, that picture doesn't tell the story of the day. And I go, oh, tell me. And then she explains it to me, and I go, oh, I have a similar picture. And I show her a picture of me at Disneyland. I'm not going to say with who, but you would think that would be the happiest day ever with all the individuals in the picture. And I go, in fact, that was the worst day of my life. But here's this picture of me and several other people smiling, laughing, looking like they're children in the picture. Like, everything is like, this is the most magical time ever. And I was like, I wanted to kill and die that day. Like, it was bad. It was bad. There was a moment I was going to lose my shit and be like, I don't care if we get kicked out of this park.
Wow.
It was that bad. And I held it together just because I was around other people, and so things didn't escalate or happen. But just looking at that picture, you would go, oh my God, it's such a happy picture.
I know y'all had a great time.
You guys, oh my God, did you guys like go to every restaurant and buy all the things? How many souvenirs did you come home with?
No.
There were souvenirs in the picture and everything.
I almost threw somebody in that pond.
Man, I was going to drown somebody in that pond. Like, it was a bad day. Like all jokes aside, I'm joking a little bit, but it was, it's one of those things where like you can always sell that, right? You can always sell the dream. Like, somebody can go take a picture next to a car and say it's theirs and it's not. You can go buy clothes and leave the tags on and tuck them in and take pictures in a bunch of clothes and return them.
Yeah, if you're doing that, though, that's just weird. That's just weird. Like,
but people are.
At what point do we just look at us? Like, when did we stop telling people they weird for that? I was just wrong sometimes. Like, why are you doing?
You don't get a chance to, because those people typically aren't happy.
Oh,
right. Like, these are the people that you see. Like, it's the girl that puts on makeup and says, "I'm cute. Look at me. Look at all my assets and whatever." And then you meet her in real life and she don't wear makeup at all.
She can't even talk.
She don't like it. She don't even like wearing makeup. She thinks she's ugly, but she wants attention on Instagram. It's the guy who pretends that he spends a ton of money and that was one day out of 365 days. And he blew away his bonus check.
But he took 300 pictures that day. So he got pictures to post
Yeah.
every week.
Yeah.
So every week he's posting pictures from the same day.
Yeah.
and it looks like he's having an eventful year.
Right. Or he spends all his money on clothes and jewelry, but he's depending on other people to eat. Right?
I see that all too often.
I mean, tell me you don't know somebody that fits one of those scenarios I just pointed out.
Somebody that fit every single one of them.
See? So, and we've always had that. That's Instagram or social media did not create that. It's just
really
super exploited. Yeah. For sure.
I guess that's true. Yeah. Because people be dressed up and they be like, I ain't got no money to get no food, man. I'm like, man, how much some shoes and that chain cost?
How much that car cost?
I ain't got no gas money. What? You got a car you can't put gas
in? Yeah. I mean, I had a friend who drove the kind of car you don't park on the curb. And that's exactly where he parked in front of his mama's house. Because they didn't have a driveway. But I'm like, but you drive that.
What kind of car was it? A sports car?
It was an Aston Martin.
Man, whatever. I ain't gonna talk. I ain't gonna get into that. We're gonna protect the guilty, as Rob would say.
Parked it curbside every day.
It didn't get stolen, scratched up.
Key. Not while I knew him, but I always feared that.
Are you still friends with this person?
No.
Okay, so bet. Aston Martin at your mom's crib is crazy.
Mm-hmm. In LA.
That's crazy. Imagine going. I'm just throwing out a scenario. Imagine you meet a girl or a guy at the club. Mm-hmm. They say, hey, I'm going to take you for a ride in my car. Mm-hmm. You get out there. This person's well-dressed. Mm-hmm. They speak well. Mm-hmm. They take you out to a nice Aston Martin. Mm-hmm. You get in the car. She says, take me to your house. He said, let's go home.
Let's go home.
Gets to the home. Whatever the house looks like, that's fine. Mm-hmm. He goes, let me go check and see if my mom is still awake. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. At what point did we stop telling people that was weird activity?
We never have. But that's what I'm saying, because he was like, I like the car. I blew whatever I blew on that, right? And I dress really well because he was always well-dressed. But you live in a small house, you, your mama, and your grandma, and you could have moved and got your own. You would be better served driving a Honda that was 15 years old and, having a 1-bedroom apartment or studio apartment that you can call home and, and be a man of your own value, right? Which is what your dad talks about.
Oh, man. I was literally, as you talking, I'm thinking about my dad, and my dad always tell me, you can't be a man in somebody else's house.
Yeah.
You got to be a man in your own house.
At some point, you shouldn't feel, your parents will never make you feel that way if you have good parents, but, well, maybe they'll push you, but, and you might think that they feel that way about you, but at some point, you should be old enough where you go, I don't feel welcomed in this house because it's not mine. And when I first went through my divorce and had to move back to my mom's house for a short stint, I never felt welcomed. They were helping me, and they were like, come home and reset. And I did that for a couple months before I, moved into a different situation. But I didn't feel welcome because I have that same principle that your dad was talking about. Like,
my dad means sometimes. Not in a good way. You get your own. Yeah. Get your own stuff. And it's truthful.
My dad never said anything. He just was like, he'd come and look at me like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then that's kind of it. But I don't know. At least with me, I wonder how that relationship is with my siblings. Is my dad had very personal relationships with each of us.
How many siblings is it again?
It's 5 of us in total.
5
total. So I have 4 siblings.
And you're the oldest.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like with me and him, there's no talking. There's no sit down and saying, son, you need to get it back on your feet. He just kind of looks at me. He assesses me.
Well, you're the oldest.
Yeah. And he just kind of assesses. I could tell he does like a grand calculus, like he just kind of looks at me. He goes, and sometimes he'll verbally like, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Okay. And he walks away. And then my mom will come back in retrospect. She's like, yeah, I told him that maybe he should go talk to me or whatever. And he'd be like, nah. And he'll just leave me be.
Even him doing that, you know what it did to you? It made your gears start turning.
Yeah.
And that's what, that is, there's so many different paths for parents to connect with their kids or to get through to your child. It doesn't always have to be this big grand message. just what your father did.
Mm-hmm.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
And you like, I'm straight. But he already know from your response
Mm-hmm.
that you already are upset,
Mm-hmm.
you're uncomfortable, and you want more.
Mm-hmm.
And he ain't even about to make you do all that
Mhm.
because he respects you as his oldest son
Mm-hmm.
and as somebody who handling their business.
Mm-hmm.
From that exchange, your dad got all that.
Yeah.
I promise you.
Yeah, I know he did. Like, looking
Yeah.
back now, in that moment,
I promise
and at that moment, it didn't register at all.
I promise you.
You know?
They be locked in.
Yeah. And my mom would be like, damn, they're upset with him. Like, why won't you go talk to your son? And he's just like, he's fine. He'll figure it out.
But also, I feel like, is that how like most men in Belizean culture are?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm actually curious too. But like, I just think that's more specific to my dad. My dad is very,
Smooth.
yeah, my dad is very calculated.
Yeah, because he already probably was thinking about it for a while up until the point where he spoke to you.
Oh, his antennas were totally up.
Yeah.
Like the second I said I needed to come home, his antennas were up. And he was like, "What's going on?" But my dad doesn't. He never moves loudly. That has never been his.
I
hallmark.
like that.
Yeah, he just doesn't. And so I've kind of learned that a little bit from him too. But I think now, you know, in my my ventures as a professional, I've had to learn to be a little louder.
So it's good at its positives and and drawbacks
for
in
sure.
it.
For
you know
sure.
what I mean?
Yeah, I think sometimes you have to speak up, and I would say that's what I'm saying. There's always lessons, good or bad, right? So like I always take the good and the bad of everybody I meet. I'm like, oh, I should do more of this. I should do less of that. Oh, I saw that. I didn't like that. Like I'm always.
And hopefully it makes you a good human.
Yeah, I'm not judging, but I believe every single person comes into my life
For a reason.
So I always look at those. I call them gifts.
Good or bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, sometimes I'm just supposed to witness what you're going through so I can see the contrast.
I'm sitting here listening to you. My first experience with that, I was working with a friend of mine. Shout out to his name was Bobby. He was one of the first bartenders I ever worked with. And he's training me. And I'm newer to this work life.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, I'm the youngest. I've always been the youngest at every bar I've ever worked. Always. But, you know, these people have been doing this, you know, for their career. They've been doing this for a while. And he's training me. And I mean, this guy is like super, like, Bobby, if you listen to this, I love you. But he's like super frantic. Like, he's like one of those people that's like over here, they a little bit over here, they a little bit over there. And he's training me. And what he tells me is, Treve, everything you watch me do today is not going to be good or great. I want you to know that. I'm going to do some bad stuff today. I'm going to mess up. He said, but what you need to do to be the best bartender you can be is to take what I do really well and keep it, and take the stuff you don't like and toss it out.
Mm-hmm.
And when he told me that, I did that and I became a good bartender, right? But then I moved that over into my life, just like you said. Like, but I've taken what he said and I literally try to apply it to everything. Like, when somebody give you a good nugget, take that nugget, all right? But you got to remember that they're human.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us, sometimes we put people on a pedestal. We glorify them in a way, and not in like a holy, like we worship their feet. But I'm saying we put people on this benchmark and we say they could do no wrong. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. Like, that's how incorrect behavior is learned.
Right.
If that makes sense. Like, that's how patterns are created, because you learn something from someone you respect, but that wasn't necessarily a good thing. But you took that thing and you started doing the same action. So I back you 110%. I think you need to be able to decipher with people you encounter what's good, what's bad, and what's whoa, dude.
Yeah.
That is
the
weird.
problem is, again, and this goes back to the whole social media thing and whatever, is sometimes you don't understand. How do I always say? You never know what's in someone else's bag, right? We're all born with the bag. In that bag, there are similar things, right? You and I can pull out all the things in our bag, and there are certain things that are exactly the same, no matter the fact that we're a certain amount of years apart or whatever. Those things are the same, right? And then there are going to be other things that are slightly different, You know, maybe same production line, maybe same manufacturer, different toy.
Yep.
Right? Things like that. And then there are going to be things that are in my bag that are not in your bag. Right? That don't make my bag any worse than your bag. It just makes my bag different from your bag. Right? And so I think about those sorts of things and I stop looking at other people's bag. Right? But I try to understand that just because your worst day, and I say all that to say is that your worst day might be a walk in the park for me. Not because you had a really bad day and something really terrible happened. It might be because I dealt with what you dealt with before, and so I know it's not that serious. But it doesn't negate that was your worst day. Once upon a time, you fell off a bike and you were like done with the day. That's probably the worst thing that could have happened to a 3-year-old Trevay. Not knowing that, I don't know, 16-year-old Trevay was going to have a breakup with the girl that's going to break his heart or whatever it is, right? Like you're going to have...
I still remember.
Is that a real thing? My bad. But...
Why you bringing up old stuff?
But, you know, like, your perception is skewed, right? Especially when you don't have experience. So those things are kind of important. You got to have perception. That's where time, age, experience kind of helps. But we misconstrue these things when we think the grass is green on the other side, right? You might see, you know, Trevay, the bartender, nice and dressed behind the bar at a fancy restaurant, you know, talking to people and whatever. And you be like, yo, he probably makes a shit ton of money, right? You might not. You don't know. Right? How many times did you think before you got to your age and
I thought I was going to have more money at this age.
No, not even that. Now you know people, right? You work at a great place and you've had the courtesy of meeting a lot of people from different walks of life that do different things for a living. How many times did you go, I thought that person made more money than that?
Yeah.
Or how many times did you go, oh shit, that dude makes a lot of money. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Right? You just don't know how people are living. Or you think that they're super happy and you find out after a few drinks, that's a really terrible situation.
Yeah, but I got your back.
Right?
Yeah.
But the point is, you can't just judge somebody because they walked in and they put a credit card down and they're finely dressed and think, oh, this is high level shit. Right? Like that's just a different, you know what I mean? So like, you can't do that.
Especially at, you know, and I'm going to say this because you hit on something. Especially nowadays, because people are a lot more guarded, I feel, with what they have going on. Because I done seen them nicely dressed and they come in with no type of good moral standing. And they could care less about what everyone has going on. And I've also seen the person who's come in with the dirty shirt. Their hands still have paint on them. Their hat is a little dusty, right? They don't look like they should be out at a nice restaurant. And that person, I've had the best conversation with that person and vice versa. You might see a person that look like he got it going on, right? And like you said, that person probably hating their life, not even enjoying it in the slightest, not even enjoying what they have going on in the slightest. But then on the other side of that, you see the person that ain't got much at the bar and they love their life. I've had people come in and say, hey, you know, we barely getting by, but thank you for what you do for us when we come here.
Yep.
And they show more gratitude on the tip than the person that, from my understanding, is well off. So it's all about that walk of life, right? What life has done for each person, bro. I'm like, it's crazy. Like, what's going on in society? And I pray that social media doesn't ruin this right here.
What do you mean?
Conversations.
Oh, yeah.
I pray that people can talk and corrugate, and even though they have different stuff in their bag and they can still come to a common ground. Because I see nowadays, right now, people are just writing people off of a few different things in their bag. and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
People are writing people off because their bag is slightly different,
Right?
and we're losing that human aspect. And I hope that in the future people can start having more conversations again.
I think it'll come back.
I really do.
Yeah, I think honestly, I've been,
I pray about it. I pray about it, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I pray about it. Like it's really a thing for me.
Yeah,
Like it's a thing for because like. It's bad.
The more I follow what's going on with AI and all that, I really think it's going to drive us. I was scared. I'm scared of the possibilities are of what might happen overall. But I do think the one thing that will happen is human connection will come back. Honestly, I think a lot of things that we enjoy now will go away. I think we'll get to a point where we may not be able to trust what we see in a video aspect. Maybe even sometimes what we hear like on social media, I think those things will probably go away, but I think people will go back outside, for lack of a better term. I think we will all gather again because we won't be able to tell what's on the internet is real or if that's AI or if that's really a human construct and can you trust it? So I think that the only thing we can do is go outside and see each other face to face again.
But you're not scared of the opposite effect? You don't think people are just scared to go outside because of that?
It'll be all we have. So what's,
you get what I'm saying? Like,
so what's that line in Jurassic Park?
There's a lot of good lines.
About Mother Nature. Mother Nature will always find a way.
Yep.
Right? So I think that's true. And I think no matter what, at some point, as scary as it is, as many lives are lost when people sever connections, because that's what happens, right? A lot of people end up depressed because they hide behind a keyboard and an app, and they go, no one loves me, and then bad things happen. What usually happens first is there's a reach of some sort. They may not know how to reach, but usually there's a reach back for connection. And it might seem to you and I as something very extreme. And then they get the rejection and then bad things happen, but there's usually a reach, right? And I think that reach will happen for us all at some point where we're going to be like, all right.
You're going to want to feel that connection again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even when you break up, right? You ever notice if you look at probably most of your breakups, there was that one point where that person, quote unquote, tried to make it work again. No. And no, never. You never broke up with somebody and was like, maybe that person was you. Maybe you go, you know what? Let me go ahead and take this person out one last time.
I've always believed in second chances.
Yeah, or whatever. Or maybe you try to hook up with that person one last time. Be like, let's see if that old magic come back.
No.
And then you be like, that was stupid.
It might have came back for the night.
Right. And maybe it did, but a lot of times it fails.
Yeah.
A lot of times you be like, that didn't go the way I wanted it to go. We're breaking up. And you're even twice as mad, right? And you're like, man, I knew I shouldn't have did that. I think that's the same sort of thing. I think is going to happen is we're going to make that final little, like we got to make this work again kind of situation. We have to. That's it.
But you said it's going to fail, though.
I don't know if that's going to fail.
That's what you said. You said on the retry.
Ignore that part. Not that part.
We got to make it work.
We got to make that work. Yeah. We got to make that work. But, until the robots come outside with us.
Oh, it's already out. Yeah. Neo already out. Neo was out here.
His type was Mach 1 of that, right? And then,
I'm just telling you, man. I got to shift to a lighter note. We've been going in since we started today. The Eagles play tonight against the Chargers.
That should be a good game for you guys.
I'm going to start out being a hater. Kansas City has now been eliminated from playoff contention. Now, I ain't going to say eliminated, but a lot of stuff has to happen for the Kansas City Chiefs to be even considered or to even make it for the playoffs, right? A lot of stuff has to happen. They lost to Houston last night. And I said...
Wait, you put on my leg, right?
I'm not lying.
What?
They are 6-7.
Because that's like legit the only team I'm really worried about.
Listen, bro.
And I'm not worried about the Colts no more because they just lost their quarterback.
Listen. They ain't got it right now. So listen.
Yes. Super Bowl.
The past looking good. We're gonna get to that. Hold on, let me get through this. I said last year.
2025, 2026.
Super Bowl
World champions.
Your New England Patriots.
The New England Patriots are back.
They having a phenomenal year. The Patriots having a phenomenal year. But I said last year when the Eagles beat the Chiefs in Super Bowl, I said,
My bad.
My bad. Nah, you had to get that out. You honestly been very modest this year
For 5 years.
about your team's success. I be texting, look, listen to RTB. I be trying to text Rod and get it out of him. That's the most I ever got out of him. And I be like, how you look about on Pat? He like, we good. We winning some ball games. It's always something along those lines. But now he can see the light at the end of the tunnel. KC's going down. He like, you start to get like a little bit, chest start to stand up a little bit.
Man.
Roll your shoulders back. I'm telling you, KC's done. If they lose another AFC game, especially a divisional game, they out.
So all we got in front of us
It's Jacksonville,
fuck Jacksonville.
Denver,
and Buffalo. And we got Buffalo next week.
Bro, I'm be real with you, bro.
And I don't think Buffalo gonna be able to
Buffalo.
do that. We already beat Buffalo.
They ain't got no O-line. They ain't got no O-line, bro. But they beat Cincinnati. I don't even think Buffalo gonna win their division.
So it's just us in Denver. We can't lose to no ponies, man. Anyway, go ahead, man. I'm being rude. Go ahead.
No, you're not. We talking ball. When we talking ball, we can go. But you still, man, it's like the NFC is really good this year.
Yeah.
Rams, Seahawks, Philly, not we up and down. Who's the other NFC team that's scary? I'm forgetting, but man, regardless, my Eagles play Chargers tonight. My close friend from college is at the game. He's a Chargers fan.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed 9 late. Tried to get me come. I couldn't afford it. Whatever. I have a lot of bets out there, RTB. I have a lot of bets. I hit on my bets. I'm not a gambling man. But I base my bets off the fact that my Eagles have lost 2 games in a row. There's no way we can lose a third game, right? What do you say to that?
Oh, don't make me do that to you.
Do that to me.
I actually like your chances, but I'm scared for you.
You know what I mean? I did it with my back is against the wall.
Yeah. I told myself I wasn't going to drink this week. And I'm not. but if I was an Eagle fan,
I told myself
I'd be having a cocktail today.
I got a lot. And look, I got so much to do today. Raw, RTB fan. After I leave here, I got to go to my other job. I got to see coaches. I got my son's basketball practice, and we got to pick out a Christmas tree. I'm not even going to get to watch a quarter of the game until probably midway or the end of the third.
Okay.
I will be watching my phone like a hawk. If we go down a lot before I even get to watch the game, you probably won't hear from me for about 72 hours. Like, if we lose by a lot,
I'm going to call you Tuesday morning.
no, I'm not picking up. Don't call me.
Bet.
Don't call me. One of the people I got to bet
I'll be
with,
like, Trevay, production meeting.
that would get me on the phone so you can talk smack. One of the people I have a bet with, I work with, and he's going to the game tonight. He said if he win, he coming to my house tonight, or if he lose, to give me the money.
Okay.
I want to be on the latter side of that. I would like to be on the winning side of that. Man, I put some bets out there. I don't even like betting.
I had no intention of watching today's game.
But now you got to watch it.
But now I'm going to watch. Now I'm going to watch. I was not about to watch today. I just wasn't.
It's a really good Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really good team.
It's one of those games that just wasn't on my radar. Like, if I would have just happenstance been free, I probably would have turned it on. But, like, I'm not planning my day for that. But now I am.
Bruh.
I'm about to rush the rest of my day so I can pay attention to that.
I'm sick right now. Like, every game matters right now because we split with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
So if the Cowboys went out and we lose one divisional game, they could win the division and we could be out of the playoff. It's crazy out here, bro. It's crazy.
You got time. You guys aren't in the worst
No. Do you remember 3 years ago we lost the last 6 out of our 7 games? Do you remember that? 2 years ago. We went from being in the Super Bowl, and then the next year we started off 8-1, and then we lost the last 6 out of our 7 games.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, and then we got eliminated out of the playoffs by Tampa Bay in the first round of the wild card. So I'm kind of like, am I getting a repeat of that? Of what that felt like? Stay tuned, RTB. I guess we'll be telling you next week. I do know one thing.
But, I mean, you got a recent Super Bowl in your history.
I've had 2 in the last decade.
Was that 2?
Yep. We won in 2017. And we won last year.
Oh, yeah? Wait, 2017?
2018. The 2017-2018 season. We won. With Nick Foles.
Oh,
Philly special.
Yeah. I remember that.
It's been hey, it's all right, bro. I ain't bringing the old stuff.
I was like, why is that not in my brain? That's a trauma.
A trauma is crazy.
That's a trauma. That's a real trauma.
That was Tom Brady's. That would have been his. That would have made Ring 7 before Ring 7.
Yeah, before Ring 7. That was 2017, I believe.
No. That would have made Ring 6 because he won one after that. After we beat...
Did we? I don't remember. See, it's such a trauma. I don't remember it.
Yeah, that would have made Ring 7 before Ring 7. And he probably would end up having 8.
God. I was like, wait, that year, it's drawing a blank. Was I in a coma that year? What was that?
You were. You were there. We just didn't know each other yet.
Oh, my God.
And you know what's crazy? I remember how I felt about that Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I just vividly remember being like, there's no way we win with Nick Foles at quarterback. Because Carson Wentz was our quarterback. And he got
injured. Yeah, I remember
at the beginning that. Of the playoffs.
I was like, Nick Foles? Who the fuck is Nick fucking
Bruh.
out of here?
But it was something I didn't. That was the first game that year I just watched with Eagles fan. I watched it at my boy Caleb house that we live in Charleston. And I remember just sitting on the couch like, we really about to win this thing. Like, oh my God. And so to bring it full circle, hopefully we don't lose to an organization with no Super Bowls. Sorry, Chargers fans. Love y'all. I know that's hate.
I mean, it's a regular season game. I ain't worried about that. If this was a Super Bowl for some reason, you know what I mean? I'd be like, you can't lose.
You want to know something weird? You know those pictures, those images on Instagram where it says screenshot to see the Super Bowl matchup and it's just like run through the teams?
Yeah.
I screenshotted it and it said Eagles, Chargers. Like I just screenshot it real quick and that's what I got.
That'll never happen.
Don't do that. Don't kill people hope like that. In dreams. All
it's
right.
like saying the Clippers are going to win the championship.
Poor Clippers, man.
What do you think about that Chris Paul situation?
I think they did him dirty, bro. The man announced his retirement, then you cut him. I think that's kind of messed up.
You don't think that he should have some sort of ownership for his behavior?
I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you for that. Because I haven't looked into it. I've only read the headlines.
Yeah.
So how was he behaving?
Well, Chris Paul is just known to be difficult, right? Like he's
historically.
He's a great basketball player. And he believes in certain things that make him great and make others great around him. So you can't say nothing from him, really. But there's also a part of him that is a bit pompous, a bit arrogant,
a little bit of an asshole.
Yeah, and and by NBA standards, he's a little guy, right? Taller than me, but he's a little guy. And so a lot of people don't like him because he's just really arrogant in that way, and so he rubs coaches the wrong way. Ty Lue is a former player, right? And apparently they weren't on speaking terms for a good little minute. And he just always is questioning the way things are done. And you got to remember, love or hate Ty Lue is a decorated coach now at this point.
100%. But Chris Paul played with Ty Lue at some point. So people need to understand it from that lens too. But they were in the NBA.
Right.
At the same time.
Right.
I'm not making this
Chris Paul. He's the coach.
100%.
And he was there while you weren't. It's not like you were a Clipper the whole time. You've bounced around the league. You're a journeyman now. And you have 0 rings.
He was a journeyman 10 years ago.
Right. Right? Like you have no medal. Ty Lue, he's got a little something now.
They do.
Right? He's got a little something now. Yes, he got stepped over by Iverson, but at least he was in that game. Right?
It was bad.
At least you were in that game. I'd rather
That's one of the most iconic photos ever.
I would rather be stepped over by Iverson than have never been shown up to the dance.
I guess that's true. That's not bad.
At least it happened. At least I was there. At least I was playing with greats.
Yeah.
Like, what shame, besides that it happened to you, what shame is it that you got crossed over by Iverson and stepped over?
Yeah, because everybody did it at that age, at that period.
Jordan got crossed over by Iverson before Iverson.
Not that bad.
It was pretty bad.
It was bad.
I was watching that game. It was pretty bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad. Because that was like, whoa, what happened? That kind of,
Yeah, but it's Wizard Jordan, right?
Was it?
Was it? I think it might have been Bulls Jordan.
It might have still, no, wait. It might have been, I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
It don't matter. It was Jordan on the back end.
It was still Jordan. He still lit Jordan up. I'm sorry.
And that's like one of those moments. And going back to Chris Paul, I think Chris Paul just realized, like, I'm getting older. Like, what am I doing? Like, same thing. Like, I think this is LeBron last year.
He needed to relax. He needed to relax a little bit, understand, like, you're on your, like, just because.
But they didn't have to cut him, though.
Maybe not, but, like, again, it must have been a lot going on. I just think they should have never brought him in. Because you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting when you're dealing with that person. And I know, like, it kind of was supposed to be like a close the circle kind of situation for him, coming back to LA. But there has to, just because it's supposed to turn out some way doesn't mean that you, Chris Paul, doesn't have to also meet the expectation.
No, 100%.
Right? And I understand the Clippers are really bad. Like, certain players are really old. Kawhi hurt. A lot of people are hurt.
James Harden playing his butt off for them right now.
Yeah, but James Harden ain't, come on.
It's the beer.
He's
arguably the best.
He not who he used to be either.
He's a top 5 shooting guard of all time.
What are you doing today, though?
Well, how life be.
So, they're not very good, right? And so, I'm sorry, Chris. Like, your goodbye tour is going to be on a losing note. And that's where you decided to go back to LA because you never wanted to move very far from California. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
He always stayed towards the western half of the United States because that's where his kids are.
Oh, okay.
So that's the reason why he's played Clippers, Phoenix.
Yeah, but he started his career in New Orleans.
Right. But that's once he came here, he grounded himself here, and that's where his kids know his home.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So even when he was traveling to Phoenix, he was flying or driving back to California, oftentimes, so he wasn't very far from his family. So you made choices, or else you could have gone to a contender, like you could have gone and been on the bench and a backup point guard in Boston and been competing.
That would have never worked.
Right?
That organization wouldn't have put up with it. It's different stuff.
But I'm saying you could have done that if you wanted to be on a winning team. So you chose to go to the Clippers. I mean, I guess you could have went to Sacramento. I don't know. Like,
that hurt my stomach when you said that. Poor Kings.
Right? But, he's gone. He played in Oklahoma, didn't he? No, where did he go?
Where hasn't he been?
He's been a lot. He's been a lot of places.
Let's start with that.
Yeah, but he tries to stay somewhat. He never wanted to go as far as the East Coast. But yeah, so I don't know, man. So I think they were willing to do a certain thing, and he's not that person. And I just think it wasn't a match. And I think egos got hurt on both sides, and the Clippers got petty. And
that's what I'm saying.
He was on the wrong end of that.
That's what it come down to, right? You could have just benched him. You could have just benched Chris Paul, told him to be quiet, and just left it and let it be what it was going to be. They did not have to cut that man. I'm sorry. I'm just a firm believer that they did not have to cut that man. I don't care what nobody say. You can't, bro. Let the man leave out with some dignity. All right. Maybe he wasn't listening to what Lou had to say. Maybe he wasn't locked in on everything going on. They didn't have to cut that man, bro. That man been playing the NBA over 20 years. Let that man retire. You know how old folks be when they just keep talking, you can't get them to be quiet? and they just keep rambling, do you go, you be quiet. You know I'm leaving. You don't do that to old folk. You let them finish out what they got going on, right? And then you go about your business. Sean Clippers had to do. That's an old man. You got to treat him like an elder. Yeah, we hear you, Chris. Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. Go on, have a seat right here on the bench. We got this.
So what happens? What happens when Grandpa is causing a bunch of different things to happen?
That's when you have a family meeting without Grandpa, and we know Grandpa up there in age, as most families would do. Everybody be nice to him. Don't nobody.
So we don't get to the point where somebody go, okay, you know what? Every time we bring Grandpa to the cookout,
don't treat him no different.
That he gonna act out and something bad happen, police get involved, somebody gets hurt, but it's a whole thing, right? I don't know what scenario. It's probably a bad scenario, but let's say that's the fact. At some point, don't you just leave Grandpa at home?
Nope. We got one more year till we put him in hospice.
Okay. So
and that's this.
So the year before that, don't you just like not tell him when the cookout is, and you stay home, and you have him stay home, and somebody take the L and keep Grandpa at home?
Nope.
And then you put him in hospice?
Then we put him in hospice.
Well,
Grandpa got to come with us. Sorry, Chris Paul, you are Grandpa. But yeah, I got
in NBA years. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, Grandpa, bro. Like,
I'm just saying, at some point,
it's business we talking about though.
But that's what I'm saying. So at some point, if it's not lining up, at some point you go, you're not here. You can't be here because you don't know how to act.
I know exactly what you're saying.
We can't have you here.
Yeah.
Because you're not meeting us halfway. You're getting the money. You're getting the tour.
Yeah.
We could have just not picked you up, and I don't know who was going to take you. But you want to be on the West Coast. We wanted a few teams on the West Coast. Like, you're getting everything you want. So, like, why you just can't ride the wave, bro? You're not about to change. We're not winning a championship here, Chris. I think that's probably what the Clippers are saying. We're not competing like that, Chris. So he's probably like, I want to compete. Well, you came to the wrong team.
No, don't do the Clippers organization.
They're not competing this year, bro. They might have had dreams before the season started. I'm not saying they went into the year that way, but I'm pretty sure we're in a space where we all know.
We're only 23 games into the season, bro.
They're cooked.
No, they're not. I think they're like 8th in the West.
They're cooked. The Lakers have a better chance.
The Lakers are 3rd place.
The Lakers.
Of course they do. The Lakers. Who's your new NBA team, by the way?
I don't have an NBA team.
Yeah, a new one. You said you was going to pick a new one this year.
Yeah, and I still haven't.
You're going to be a Warriors fan, aren't you? Like I said.
Nah. If I was going to be a Warriors fan, that was going to happen a long time ago.
Well, this new era.
No. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till LeBron goes bye-bye. And then I will. Because I really would like to come home.
But you said you don't like going back. You said you don't never like to go back.
Yeah,
you said when you leave
that's true. But
that's like an old fling now.
Yeah, I would like to come home.
Like, do that trick you used to do when Kobe was here. Do that trick y'all used to do. Go win the NBA final.
I will never say when Kobe was here. God rest the dead. But no, I'm not a Kobe fan.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, so
that's
like,
real.
Yeah, like my Lakers are pre Kobe. You know, the early Shaq years. You know, pre-Shaq, you know, the early 90s Lakers, even when they weren't winning at that time, you know, like that was my team. You know, I used to rock tough with them, but, you know, it just is what it is.
Hey, my Knicks are number 2 in the East. Man, I'm doing good in sports this year.
Look at you. You're all fancy. You know, had a good year.
I have. I got 0 complaints. I as Drake and Future said, life is good. But I guess we can shift gears one last time before we head out. I would like to go on record to say that Christmas is it's going to be a good Christmas this year.
Okay.
And I hope that it's a good Christmas for everybody, because the older I get, the more I'm starting to realize how fast time goes.
Mm-hmm.
And we already talked about this. Christmas the month of December used to be so long when you were a kid. I know it goes by like that. We have this Christmas countdown out in front of our house, big sign. And we've had it out there since about 52 days before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's already at 17 days before Christmas. And I've been watching that countdown every day.
I feel like you were just here. Wow. Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's getting to a point now where I have to slow the days down. Not the week. Like I have to enjoy just the day.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason I said that Christmas is going to be really good this year is because from this moment forward and this week, I'm going to enjoy the moments. Like we're going to go pick out a Christmas tree tonight. I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to joke around, might pick a tree up, toss it on my son, put my daughter up, have her, I'm going to enjoy every moment intentionally. Might even have a little eggnog with some Baileys in it. Just going to live because I just feel like I'm in it right now. And as much as I want to be great and I want to move and I want to get through everything, I don't want to miss everything. Sometimes you gotta intentionally lock in memories. You know what I mean? Like the way life's going right now, the day goes by and you just keep on going. Right? I feel like that's at my age and what I'm trying to do, I just feel like it's go, 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 go. So for everybody out there in RTB world, whether you celebrate Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or you do Christmas, or you don't do anything, intentionally enjoy your days. That is from the RTB family. Take your time, take a deep breath. Even if the house is burning down, even if life seems like it's horrible, like Ross said earlier, your bad day could be a great day for somebody else, or a not as bad day, right? So I say that to say all this, whether it's a good or bad day, be intentful with it. Understand the lesson in it. Gain some wisdom from what you had going on, right? It's not the end of the world. Putting that on a shirt. It's not the end of the world. But if you let it, the world might end. Huh?
Yet.
Yeah. If you let it, the world might end, right? We got so many slogans on RTB. I got to get on that merch, boy. We done said so much good stuff on this podcast, but the word for December for everybody and for myself, it has to be intent. Be intentful about your days.
Go be intentional. Raising the bar, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Raising the Bar with Ron Treve. If you like what you heard, do us a favor and share the podcast with a friend. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast also. New episodes every Wednesday. You can leave us a comment on the episodes where you stream them on Instagram at rtb.podcast or send us a direct email at rtb.podcast25@gmail.com. That's rtb.podcast, 25 @gmail.com. See you next week.